Imagine for a second that the harder you try to speak clearly, the more your mind goes blank. It is a strange paradox, but it is exactly why you feel stuck right now. I spent years thinking I needed more words or more complex grammar rules, but I was wrong. The secret to fluency is not what you add to your brain. It is actually about what you let go of. This one thing changed everything for me, and it might be the only thing standing between you and the way you want to sound. Today we are going to sit down and look at the 7 mistakes that are quietly holding you back. Welcome to True Grit English Stories. I am so glad you are here with me today. Find a comfortable spot and maybe grab a warm drink. Let us just talk heart to heart for a while. You see, I have been exactly where you are. I know that heavy feeling in your chest when you want to say something beautiful, but the words feel like they are stuck in a traffic jam behind your teeth. It is frustrating and it can feel very lonely. But I want you to know that your struggle is not a sign of failure. It is actually a sign that you are on the verge of a breakthrough if you can just shift your perspective. Let us start with the first trap. It is the biggest one of all. You are trying to be perfect. You want every sentence to be a masterpiece before it even leaves your mouth. You are waiting for that moment when you can speak without a single error or a single misplaced preposition. This creates a massive bottleneck in your mind. When you aim for perfection, you stop the flow. It is like trying to drive a car with the emergency brake on. You are using so much energy just to move a few inches. Think about how you speak in your native language. You do not think about the rules. You do not worry if you use a slightly casual word, or if your sentence structure is a bit messy. You just focus on the person in front of you, but when you switch to English, your inner editor wakes up. That inner editor is a loud and bossy voice that tells you that you are not ready yet, tells you to stay quiet until you are 100% certain. But here is the truth. Perfection is the enemy of progress. If you wait until you are perfect, you will never say a word. Fluency is not about being correct. It is about being heard. It is about that messy and beautiful connection between two human beings. The second mistake is that you are still translating word for word in your head. I call this the mental bridge. Every time you want to say something, you start in your own language and then you build a bridge over to English. You pick up a word and carry it across, then you go back for another. This is exhausting work. It makes your speech slow and rhythmic in a way that feels unnatural. You are building a mental bridge every single time you talk, but we need to stop building bridges and start living on the other side. When you translate, you are always one step behind the conversation. By the time you have finished building your sentence, the topic has already changed. This is why you feel like you are drowning in real-world conversations. We have to learn to think in the language even if it feels small and simple at first. It is better to say a very simple sentence that comes straight from your heart than to construct a complex one that had to be translated through 5 different mental filters. True speed comes from comfort and not from correctness. I want you to think about how a child learns. A child does not have a dictionary in their head. They do not have a list of grammar rules to follow. They just listen and they copy and they play. They are not afraid of making a mistake because they do not even know what a mistake is yet. They are just trying to get their point across. Somewhere along the way we lost that playfulness. We started to see English as a subject to be mastered instead of a tool to be used. We turned it into a test. And who can speak fluently when they feel like they are taking a test every single day? The third mistake is something I see all the time. You might be hiding behind your books. It is a very common trap because books feel safe. They do not judge you. They do not give you confused looks when you mispronounce a word. You might be an expert at grammar tests but a complete novice at real-world conversations. I have met people who can explain the most complex verb tenses in the world but they struggle to order a coffee. This is because they have spent all their time in the laboratory and no time in the wild. It feels safe to study alone in your room, but fluency lives in the messy world of people. You can read every book ever written about swimming, but until you get into the water you are not a swimmer. The same is true for speaking. You have to be willing to get a little bit wet. You have to be willing to feel a little bit cold and uncomfortable. The books are a map, but the conversation is the journey. Do not spend so much time looking at the map that you forget to walk the path. Mistake number 4 is waiting for the perfect moment to speak. We tell ourselves that we will start talking more when we know another 500 words. Or we say we will join a conversation group once we have finished this specific course. There is no perfect moment. If you wait until you feel ready, you will be waiting forever. Readiness is a myth. You only feel ready after you have done it 100 times. We have to learn to embrace the awkward pauses. They are not failures. They are just the sound of your brain growing. Think of those pauses as a bridge of silence. It is okay to take your time. It is okay to let the air sit between you and the other person for a moment while you find your way. People who care about you will wait. And people who do not wait are not worth talking to anyway. When you stop fearing the silence stops being your enemy. It becomes a space where you can breathe. As we sit here, I want you to take a deep breath. You have been carrying a lot of pressure on your shoulders. You have been treating this journey like a mountain that you have to climb as fast as possible. But what if it is not a mountain? What if it is a garden? You do not force a flower to grow by pulling on its petals. You just give it water and light and time. You are the same. You need the right environment and you need to stop being so hard on yourself. In the next part of our talk, we are going to look at how your identity is holding you back. This might be the most important realization of all. But for now, just sit with these first few ideas. Think about the perfectionism you have been carrying. Think about that mental bridge of translation you have been building. And think about how much time you have spent hiding behind your books. It is time to step out into the sunlight. You are doing better than you think, and I am so proud of you for being here. We are going to fix this together, one slow and steady step at a time. Just stay with me and keep your heart open. The words will come when they are ready. For now, let us just be present in this moment. You are not just a student. You are a human being trying to connect. And that is a beautiful thing. I hope you are still comfortable. We are going deeper now into the things that stay hidden in the shadows of our minds. I promised you that we would look at the secret to shifting your progress, and I want to keep that promise. But first we have to talk about mistake number 5. This one is a quiet one. It sits in the back of your head like a heavy weight you do not even know you are carrying. It is your identity. You see, for a long time you have seen yourself as a student. When you think like a student, you are always looking for a grade or a correction. You are waiting for someone with more authority to tell you if you are right or wrong. You are looking for a gold star on your paper. But life is not a classroom, and the people you talk to are not your teachers. When you see yourself as a student, you stay small. You stay in a position where you are always learning but never using. It is a very safe place to be, but it is also a prison. You need to start seeing yourself as a communicator. A communicator does not care if they use the past perfect tense correctly every single time. A communicator cares if the person across from them understands the story. Think about it this way. If you were lost in a forest and you found someone who could help you, would you worry about your grammar? No. You would use your hands and your eyes and whatever words you had to get your point across. You would be a communicator. I want you to bring that same energy to your daily life. Stop being a student who is practicing for a future that never comes. Start being a speaker who is living in the now. This leads us to the secret I wanted to share with you. This one thing changed the way I look at every language I have ever studied. I call it the internal monologue method. Most people think they need to find a partner to practice speaking. They wait for a tutor or a friend. But you are with yourself 24 hours a day. The secret to fluency is not found in a conversation with someone else. It is found in the conversation you have with yourself inside your own head. I want you to start narrating your life like a slow and gentle movie. When you are making your coffee in the morning, do not just do it in silence. Tell yourself what you are doing. Say, I am picking up the spoon. The water is hot. The smell of the coffee is wonderful. Use simple words. Use the words you already know. This does the one thing that all the books in the world cannot do. It closes the gap between your thoughts and your voice. It trains your brain to find English words without the pressure of another person watching you. It makes the language a part of your soul, and not just a part of your study schedule. Now let us look at mistake number 6. This is the heavy fear of being judged. I want you to look at me for a moment and really hear this. Most people are not listening for your mistakes. They are not waiting for you to trip over a word so they can laugh at you. Most people are just trying to understand your heart. They want to know how you feel. They want to hear about your day or your dreams. When you focus on the mechanics of the language, you are looking at the ground. You are looking at your own feet to make sure you do not trip. But when you focus on the connection, you are looking at the other person. When you look at the other person, you see their smiles and their nods. You see that they are actually on your side. The fear of judgment is a wall that you built yourself. It is not a wall that they built. I used to be so afraid that people would think I was not smart because my English was simple. But then I realized that the smartest people are the ones who can explain complex things with simple words. It is about the message and not the mechanics. If you can make someone feel something with your words, then you are a master of the language regardless of your level. We also have to talk about mistake number 7. This is the most common one of all, and it is the reason so many people give up. It is choosing intensity over consistency. This is where many dreams go to die. You might decide that today is the day you finally get fluent. You study for 5 hours. You watch 10 videos. You write 20 pages of notes. And then you are exhausted. You do not touch English for the next 6 days because your brain is tired. That is like trying to water a plant with a fire hose once a month. The plant will not grow. It will just be washed away. Fluency is a slow burn. It is a quiet daily habit that happens in the small moments. It is 5 minutes of narrating your breakfast. It is 10 minutes of listening to a story while you walk. It is one short message to a friend. These small drops of water fill the bucket much faster than a sudden storm. I want you to stop looking for the big breakthrough. The breakthrough is just the result of 1,000 tiny moments that no one else saw. It is the result of showing up when you were tired and just saying 1 or 2 sentences to yourself. I want you to take a deep breath with me. Can you feel the air moving in and out? Speaking a language should feel like that breath. It should be natural and it should be yours. You have been fighting against the language for so long. You have been treating it like an enemy you have to conquer. But English is not your enemy. It is a friend that is waiting for you to stop trying so hard. When you let go of the need to be perfect and the need to be a student, you finally give yourself permission to speak. Think about the way you feel when you listen to a beautiful piece of music. You do not analyze every note. You do not wonder if the guitar is tuned perfectly in every second. You just feel the music. I want you to start feeling the English language. Listen to the rhythm of the words. Notice how some words feel soft and some feel sharp. This is the shift from the laboratory to the wild. You are doing better than you think. Every time you choose to speak, even when you are afraid, you are winning a small battle. And those small battles add up to a big victory. In the next part of our journey, we are going to talk about the practical ways to keep this fire burning without burning yourself out. We will look at how to build a world around you that supports your growth. But for right now, I just want you to sit with this new identity. You are not a student anymore. You are a communicator. You are a storyteller. You are a person with a voice that deserves to be heard. Let us stop fighting the language and start dancing with it. You have everything you need right inside of you. Just keep your heart open and the words will find their way out. I am right here with you and I am so proud of the progress you are making even if you cannot see it yet. Stay soft. Stay curious. And most of all, stay present. Your voice is a gift and it is time to share it with the world. You are still here with me and that makes me very happy. Take a moment to adjust your seat. Maybe take another sip of your tea or just stretch your arms for a second. We have covered a lot of ground together. We talked about the traps of perfection and the walls of fear. But now I want to pull back the curtain even further. I want to show you the engine that actually drives fluency. We have looked at what to stop doing, but now we need to look at how to exist within the language in a way that feels like breathing. There is a secret to how your brain handles new information, and most schools never mention it. They treat your brain like a dry sponge that just needs to soak up lists of words. But your brain is actually more like a garden. It needs the right climate to grow anything at all. If the climate is too cold or too stressful, the seeds of language will never sprout. This is why you can study for years and still feel like you know nothing when a real person speaks to you. Your internal climate is set to stress mode. I want to introduce you to a concept that changed my life. It is the idea of the low stress intake. Think about the last time you watched a movie or listened to a story that you truly loved. You were not thinking about the grammar. You were not worried about the adjectives. You were just there in the moment. You were feeling the joy or the sadness of the characters. In those moments, your brain is wide open. The language is entering your mind through the back door, while your front door is busy watching the story. This is the most powerful way to learn. On this channel at True Grit English Stories, we use this method every single day. We do not give you boring drills or lists of irregular verbs. We give you stories. We give you a world to step into. When you listen to a story, your brain starts to map the language automatically. It hears the patterns, feels the rhythm. It starts to understand where words go without you ever having to look at a rule book. This is how you learned your first language, and it is the only way to truly master your second one. Let us talk about a practical way to use this. I call it the active rest method. Many people think that they are either studying or they are resting. They think that if they are not working hard, then they are not learning. But some of your best learning happens when you are not trying at all. I want you to find stories or audio that are just a little bit easy for you. Not too hard. Not too complex. Something that you can understand about 80% of. When you listen to something that is easy, your brain relaxes. It stops fighting to translate every word and it starts to enjoy the flow. This is where the magic happens. Your brain starts to notice the small things. It notices how a native speaker connects two words together. It notices the melody of a question. It notices the pauses. You cannot see these things when you are struggling with a difficult text. You can only see them when you are comfortable. So my advice to you is to spend more time with easy and beautiful things. Stop trying to climb the tallest mountain every single day. Take a walk in the valley where the air is thick and easy to breathe. I also want to talk to you about the power of the ear. We spend so much time looking at English with our eyes. We see it on screens and we see it in books. But English is a sound. It is a vibration in the air. Your eyes are very logical and they like to categorize things. Your ears are much more emotional. When you listen more than you read, you start to develop a feel for the language. You start to know if a sentence sounds right or wrong, even if you cannot explain why. That is what true fluency feels like. It is a gut feeling. It is a sense of knowing. Think of a song you know by heart. You do not need to think about the lyrics. You do not need to think about the notes. The song is just inside you. You can start singing it at any moment. That is how I want your English to feel. I want it to be a song that lives in your chest. And the only way to get a song inside you is to listen to it over and over again with a relaxed heart. I want you to try something tomorrow. Instead of sitting down at a desk with a pen and a notebook, I want you to just go for a walk. Put on one of our stories and just listen. Do not try to memorize anything. Do not try to catch every word. Just let the sound of the voice wash over you like warm water. Notice how you feel. Notice if you can see the pictures of the story in your mind. If you can see the pictures, then you are doing it right. You are connecting the words directly to your imagination and bypassing that old mental bridge of translation. This is the shift from being a student to being a liver of the language. You are not preparing for a test anymore. You are experiencing a life. Every story you hear is a new experience that you are adding to your soul. And the more experiences you have, the more you will have to say when the time comes to speak. You will find that the words start to bubble up from your subconscious. You will say a phrase and then wonder where it came from. It came from all those moments of quiet listening. It came from all those stories you let into your heart. I know it feels slow sometimes. I know you want to be able to speak perfectly by tomorrow morning. But remember what we said about the garden. You cannot rush the seasons. You just have to make sure the soil is good and the water is plenty. Your effort is the water and these stories are the sunlight. Together they are making something beautiful grow inside you. You might not see the flowers today, but the roots are getting deeper every single minute. As we move toward the next part of our session, I want you to think about one thing. What is one story from your own life that you would love to tell in English? Do not worry about the words yet. Just think about the feeling of that story. Is it a funny story? Is it a sad one? Is it a story about a big adventure? Hold that feeling in your mind. In the next part, we are going to look at how to take those feelings and turn them into your own unique voice. You are doing such a brave thing. Learning to speak a new language is like learning to show your soul in a new way. It takes grit and it takes heart. But you have both of those things. I can feel it. Just stay with me a little longer. We are almost there and the best part is yet to come. Take another deep breath and feel the stillness around you. You are safe here. You are growing here. And you are becoming the communicator you were always meant to be. Let us keep going together. There is so much more to discover in the quiet spaces between the words. You are still with me, and that tells me everything I need to know about your heart. It tells me that you have the one thing that cannot be taught in a classroom. You have grit. You have the soul of a seeker. Take another deep breath and let your shoulders drop even further. We are in the home stretch of our time together, but this part is where the seeds we planted really start to break through the soil. We have talked about the mistakes of the mind and the heart. Now I want to talk to you about the mistake of the body. You see, we often treat English like it is a math problem to be solved in the brain. But speaking is a physical act. It is a dance of the breath and the tongue and the throat. The mistake many of us make is that we try to speak from the head and not from the body. When you are nervous, your throat tightens. Your breath becomes shallow. Your tongue feels heavy and clumsy. This is because you are disconnected from the physical reality of the language. You are trying to control the words instead of letting them live through you. I want to share a technique with you that I call the echo method. It is the bridge between the listening we talked about in the last part and the speaking we want to achieve. Most people think that to practice speaking they need to come up with new ideas. But that is too much pressure for a brain that is already working hard. Instead, I want you to find a phrase from one of our stories at True Grit English Stories. Choose a phrase that you like. Maybe it is something simple like the sun was setting behind the hills. Now I want you to listen to it and then let it echo in your mind for 3 seconds. Do not speak yet. Just hear the ghost of the voice in the silence. Then I want you to say it out loud, but do not try to be loud. Whisper it. Feel the way your lips move to make the sound of the letter S. Feel the way the air flows for the word hills. Do this 10 times with the same small phrase. By the 10th time, you are not thinking about the words anymore. Your body is just remembering the movement. This is how you build muscle memory. This is how you make the language a physical part of who you are. Think about a professional athlete. They do not think about how to swing the bat or how to kick the ball while they are in the middle of a game. They have done it 10,000 times in practice until their muscles know the way. You need to give your mouth that same gift. You need to give your tongue the chance to practice the dance without the pressure of a conversation. When you do this, the words stop being symbols on a page. They become movements. They become vibrations. And vibrations are much easier for the brain to remember than abstract rules. I want to tell you a little secret about my own journey. There was a time when I felt like I would never be able to express the deep things in my heart in another language. I felt like a child trapped in a grown man body. I would go to the park and sit on a bench and I would just describe the trees and the birds to myself in a low voice. I felt silly at first. I thought people were looking at me. But then I realized that no one was paying attention. They were all in their own worlds. In those quiet moments on the park bench, I found my voice. I stopped trying to be impressive and I started trying to be honest. This brings us to a very important point about the words we choose. We often think that we need big and fancy words to sound fluent. We look for the most complex synonyms we can find. But this is a mistake. The most beautiful English is often the simplest. Think about the most famous speeches or poems in history. They do not use 5-syllable words to show off. They use words like love and home and light and dark. These are the words that carry the most weight. These are the words that everyone understands. When you use simple words, you have more mental energy to focus on your delivery and your connection. You can breathe more easily. You can look the other person in the eye. I want you to give yourself permission to be simple. You do not have to be a walking dictionary. You just have to be you. A simple truth told with a warm heart is 1,000 times better than a complex lie told with a cold one. Can you feel the relief in that? You do not have to carry the weight of all those big words anymore. You can just use the ones you have and use them well. Let us talk for a moment about the plateau. You know that feeling when you have been working hard but you feel like you are not getting any better? It is like you are walking through thick mud. This is a very dangerous time because this is when most people give up. But I want you to look at the plateau differently. The plateau is not a sign that you have stopped growing. It is the time when your roots are growing deep, so they can support the next big burst of height. Imagine a bamboo tree. For 4 years it stays as a tiny green shoot in the ground. You water it and you care for it, but nothing seems to happen. Then in the 5th year it grows 80 feet in just 6 weeks. Did it grow 80 feet in 6 weeks? No. It grew 80 feet in 5 years and 6 weeks. All those years of staying small were necessary for the foundation. You are in your foundation years. Every time you listen to a story and every time you whisper a phrase to yourself, you are building the root system that will one day support your fluency. Do not be afraid of the quiet times. They are the most important times of all. I want you to think about your English as a companion on a long journey. Sometimes the path is easy and sunny. Sometimes it is steep and rocky, but the companion is always there. You do not have to be perfect for your companion to love you. You just have to keep walking. On this channel, we are your walking partners. We are here to tell you stories that keep your feet moving when the path gets hard. We believe in the power of the slow and steady way. As we get ready for the final part of our conversation, I want you to do one small thing for me. I want you to place your hand over your heart. Can you feel it beating? That beat is a rhythm. Language has a rhythm too. Tomorrow when you wake up, do not reach for your phone first thing. Just sit in the quiet and find the rhythm of your breath. Then say one word. Just one. Say the word hello or the word peace or the word today. Feel the vibration of that one word in your chest. That is the beginning of your new life as a communicator. In the next part, we are going to pull all of these threads together. We are going to talk about how to live every day in a way that makes fluency inevitable. We are going to look at the very last mistake, which is the one that ties all the others together. But for now, just be proud of yourself. You have listened to almost an hour of deep and meaningful English. Your brain is already changing. Your heart is already opening. You are doing the work even when it feels like you are just sitting there. Stay soft and stay with me. We are almost home and the view from the top is going to be beautiful. You have the grit and you have the heart. Let us finish this journey together. We have arrived at the final part of our walk together. I want you to take a deep breath and just feel the weight of this moment. You have stayed with me through the shadows and the light. You have listened to my stories and you have opened your heart to a new way of thinking. That shows a level of commitment that most people never find. You are already different than you were when we started this talk. Your mind is beginning to see the walls for what they really are. They are just thin paper. And today we are going to walk right through them. We have covered 7 mistakes that hold you back, but there is one final thing that acts like a heavy anchor. It is the mistake of the destination. You see, we often treat fluency like a place on a map. We think that one day we will arrive at a golden gate and a voice will tell us that we are finally fluent. We think that on that day all our fears will disappear and we will never struggle again. But this is a trap. Fluency is not a destination. It is a relationship. It is a way of living in the world. When you see fluency as a faraway goal, you are always living in a state of not being enough. You are always looking at what you lack instead of what you have. This creates a quiet kind of sadness in your practice. But what if I told you that you are already fluent enough for today? What if I told you that the goal is not to speak like a native speaker but to speak like yourself in another language? Your goal is to be the best version of you that you can be right now. When you let go of the imaginary finish line, you can finally start to enjoy the walk. I want to talk to you about creating your own English bubble. This is the practical side of everything we have discussed. You do not need to move to another country to be surrounded by the language. You can build a home for English right where you are. But do not build it with stress. Build it with things you love. If you love cooking, then find simple recipes in English. If you love stars, then listen to stories about the night sky. The secret is to weave the language into the fabric of your daily joy. When English is the language of your hobbies, it stops being a task and starts being a gift. Think about your phone and your computer. These are tools that can either stress you out or help you grow. Many people tell you to change your phone settings to English. That is a good step, but only if it does not make you feel anxious. I want you to look for the small wins. Maybe it is following one person on social media who speaks clearly and kindly. Maybe it is leaving a one-sentence comment on a video you enjoyed. These are the small bricks that build a big house. You do not need to do everything at once. You just need to do one small thing with a peaceful heart. I want to share a final secret with you. It is the secret of the inner mentor. We all have a voice in our head that can be very mean. It is the voice that points out every mistake and tells us to be quiet. But you have the power to change that voice. I want you to start talking to yourself the way a kind teacher would. When you trip over a word, I want you to smile and say that is okay. We will try it again. When you forget a common verb, I want you to laugh and say your brain is just taking a little nap. When you treat yourself with kindness, your brain stays in that low-stress state we talked about. And when your brain is relaxed, it learns twice as fast. You are the architect of your own progress. You get to decide how this journey feels. It can be a cold and lonely climb, or it can be a warm and beautiful walk through a garden. I know which one I would choose. On this channel, we choose the garden. We choose the stories that make us feel human. We choose the slow way because we know it is the only way that lasts. True Grit English Stories is more than just a place to learn. It is a place to belong. It is a place where your voice matters, even if it is still finding its way. As we reach the end of our time today, I want you to look back at the 7 mistakes one more time. Perfectionism. Translation. Hiding behind books. Waiting for the perfect moment. The student identity. The fear of judgment. And choosing intensity over consistency. Can you see how they all come from a place of fear? And can you see how the secrets we shared come from a place of love? Love for the process. Love for the connection. And love for yourself. Fear closes the door, but love opens it wide. I want you to imagine yourself a year from now. Imagine you are sitting in a cozy cafe, or talking to a new friend online. The words are flowing. You are not thinking about the rules. You are not worried about the bridge of translation. You are just sharing your thoughts and your feelings. You feel light. You feel free. That version of you is not a stranger. That version of you is already inside you right now. It is just waiting for you to stop holding your breath. It is waiting for you to let go of the heavy weights you have been carrying. You have the grit to keep going. You have the heart to connect. and you have the voice to tell your story. I am so honored that you chose to spend this time with me. It is a beautiful thing to watch someone grow, and I can see the growth in you already. Do not let the world tell you that you are not ready. You are ready to be a communicator today. You are ready to be heard. Before you go, I have a small suggestion for you. Why don't you try to find one thing in your room right now? Just one object. Maybe it is a lamp or a book or a cup of tea. I want you to look at it and say 3 simple sentences about it out loud. Do not worry about being fancy. Just say what color it is or how it feels or why you like it. Let the words be simple and let your voice be soft. This is your first step into your new life as a speaker. How about you try that right now before you move on with your day? I will be here waiting for you in our next story. We have many more journeys to take and many more secrets to uncover. But for now, just be still. Be proud. And be yourself. You are doing so much better than you think. The road ahead is bright and you are walking it with grace. Thank you for being part of this journey with me. I will see you very soon. Keep your heart open and keep speaking your truth. The world is listening.